you told me people call you a shill for big pharma, but you also said doctors have to legally disclose if and or when they take money from big pharma, as well as how much they take.
Yeah.
Are you, number one, are you a big pharma shill? And number two is, can you tell people where they can find this information to see if the doctors they're looking at are taking money from big pharma?
Yeah, it depends on what you define as big pharma shill. Like, if I love pharmaceutical drugs, I do. Of course, my go-to and everybody's go-to should be like lifestyle first if we can do it. But it doesn't often help in many cases. So that's where I go to the big pharma drugs. And so in that case, I would be a big pharma shill. In terms of like taking cruises and whatever, no. Apparently, I have like mentors that be like, yeah, you should have been around in the 90s. We used to get sports games tickets and all sorts.
Oh, really?
Apparently, I grew up in the wrong era. But no, like, but it's they've gotten so strict about it because of the things that used to go on back then.
The corruption.
Like they can't even like. Even pens and all sorts of stuff are just like it's like a big no-no. So
what? Oh, like an actual like a pen to write with from.
Yeah, there's also because and this is where a lot of like I'll go on threads and I'll say like we don't get paid to write prescriptions. It's illegal to get kickbacks from writing a prescription. So if I write for like a GLP-1 receptor agonist, so if I write for Zepbound or something like that, tirzepatide, people are like you post about these things because you get kickbacks and you want people to get prescribed these more. And I'm like, I don't make money from prescribing the drug. People do come to me to get the medicine and I make money from seeing that person. That's true. But that would be like anybody's job. Like if it would be an air conditioner repairman.
Right.
Talking about on their YouTube, talking about air conditioning units or something like that. Although it's possible that they actually may make money from like selling an air conditioning unit. It's possible. But like the actual service of them putting it in.
So you don't get extra kickback for prescribing a GLP-1 agonist?
Okay. This is it's not a loophole. So I'm always getting asked to do like advisory boards and consulting with big pharma. So you can get paid. I haven't yet. I actually just got a pretty, not a huge contract. It's for like 8 hours and you get paid something like almost $500 for an hour. Okay. So it'll be like an 8-hour thing. And I was telling you this last night, but what I want to do is actually like, I asked my audience, I'm like, if I started taking money from big pharma, what would you think? And they all said like, we won't care, but your haters will care.
Yeah, they can use it against you for sure. And to be fair, I think it's a fair potential criticism.
Yeah. So I said, okay, what if I donated that money? And people were like, oh yeah, then it would be fine. But if I do take this money, it will show up in this thing called open payments and everybody can look. You can go and search open payments, Dr. Big Pharma on Google.
So you go to Google open payments and you search the doctor's name.
Search the name. So right now it'll look like I made maybe like $30 last year from a lunch, having lunch with one of these medical science liaisons where they, give you the latest studies on whatever. So even though I didn't make any money, it was just a lunch or whatever it was. But like you can see the averages of what people get. And in fact, my brother, it looks like he made like $8,000 over the past however many years, but he's like, I've never made any money. It's because when they come to a clinic, like he has a clinic, if they bring a couple $100 worth of food for the day for the whole staff, even if he doesn't eat it, that will count against him.
That's stupid. They need to clarify that. That's ridiculous because it looks like he's made $8,000 when reality it's like it looks like you made $30, but they just took you out for a $30 lunch.
That's right. Yeah.
That's stupid.
And if you get research grants, they try to delineate that, but like some people, it looks like they've made like millions of dollars when it's just like they're getting research grants to study some effect of the drug. And
well, that sucks. I was really excited to be able to see like, oh, this is how much money this person made. But if they don't actually delineate and say, hey, this money was an actual gift of money or vacation or whatever versus this is lunches or this is a research grant, like that's crazy.
Yeah, no, that's but yeah, so some of these people, well, and there's arguments that people are like, if it's consulting, that means that doctor's highly sought after and they are clearly very smart. Now, some others will say that doctor needs to be high and mighty, pious, whatever you want, holier than thou, and just not take the funds. But it's like well, we should get paid for our time. It's not fair that other people get to make all this money from whatever.
Yep.
But that's just the public perception. So like, if you don't care about being called a big pharma, now I kind of like laugh about being a big pharma show. I'm like, whatever. Like my patients like appreciate that I'm advocating for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, any open payments, you can go look. And then you could actually ask the doctor about it if you're like concerned, like, hey, you took this much money from Novo Nordisk. What does this mean? When I take money, I'm gonna list it all out in videos, and so it's like, here's where the money came from, went into my bank account. Here's where it's going. I'm gonna be very transparent. I wasn't gonna take it before, but then I was thinking, and when I asked my patients about it, they're like, no. You need to be on those advisory boards to kind of advocate for us, because like these medicines that I prescribe often, they're not affordable for most people. And so basically most of my patients were like, no, please do the advisory board and try to just hammer home that they need to reduce these prices. It's not fair. It's just big pharma greed.
I wasn't going to go down this route, but since you brought it up, I mean, realistically, practically, you get on one of these advisory boards, you're like, hey guys, this isn't fair. You need to reduce the price. Do you actually think they're going to be like, you know what? You're right. We'll reduce the price. Like, is that actually going to happen?
It's possible that enough pressure comes forward. I mean, they know that needs to be done, but like I'm told from people within these companies that they don't listen to the people that work there who are already saying, the people that work at these places are already saying it.
Right.
So they said, just come and do any little bit of pressure.
But what benefit would they get if they're already getting millions and billions of dollars? Like, what benefit would they have from reducing it?
I think so. The two big players right now are Eli Lilly. They're the ones that do Mounjaro and Zepbound, tirzepatide. And then there's Novo Nordisk, who's kind of somewhat of the originator of these medicines. They're the ones that kind of paved the way for these. They're the ones that do semaglutide, Ozempic, and Wegovy. Right now, tirzepatide, Zepbound is just a much better drug than Wegovy in terms of weight loss and
Zepbound is tirzepatide.
Tirzepatide. People tolerate it so much better. People were up in arms when one of the big pharmacy benefit managers, CVS, announced that they were switching to Wegovy coverage instead of. I mean, people are up in arms. There's a huge petition and everything like that being done. I think if Novo Nordisk lowered their price, like just undercut them big time. Because right now I'm not going to write I'm just not going to write Wegovy when I could write Zepbound. It's just a way better drug.
Yeah.
People tolerate it better. Way
fewer
more
side
weight
effects.
Loss. It's just
more effective.
Yeah. Like how can you can't get much better than that. However, if they cut it down by a significant amount, like it's like $200 a month as opposed to $500, which is now what their new direct plan is, I'd be writing it a lot because there's a lot of people that can't afford the higher priced. And Zepbound right now directly through their direct pharmacy is $349 a month for the low dose, and then it goes up to $499 for the next doses. Wegovy, they made it $200 for their first dose, and then it goes up to $499, and it just doesn't make any sense logically to start people on it unless it's $200 ongoing. Yeah, so I think that they would capture a huge market if they did that. The concern, though, would Lilly then jump in, Eli Lilly jump in and go, no, we're going to lower our prices. But that's capitalism. That's capitalism.
Correct.
That's what I believe the market needs. We need actual competition. I think there's going to be some other companies jumping in, and someone's going to come in and undercut them all and win out, and then they're all going to have to fall like dominoes. That's what I think. That's what I hope.